Welcome back, everybody, to the Dragon's Lair. My name is Wade, and this is my show, Let's Talk, where we talk about Warhammer 40k. We're talking about Tyranids because, oh my goodness, we are near the end of the 3-year cycle, and they're talking about 11th edition. So this is coming out at the end of 2025. They are saying we will have 11th edition in about July of 2026. So with the last 6 months of 10th edition, I wanted to finish out making my Tyranid videos because I love you, Hive Mind. So let's get into it. There's a ton to talk about. I haven't talked about Crusher Stampede yet, and Crusher Stampede has a few corrections that have been made. So what you're seeing here is I took pictures of my codex, and then I sort of overlaid the pictures of the new information. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. I love monsters. If you've ever played against me, you will know that I love monsters. Crusher Stampede is cool. So the overall ability of Crusher Stampede, it's had a little bit of a change made to it. When monster models from your army makes an attack, a ranged attack, a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll if that model's unit is below starting strength. All right, so a Tyrannifex that has 1 wound on it is below starting strength. Add 1 to the wound roll as well if the model's unit is below half strength. So this is pretty good for Tyrannifexes and Maleceptors, things that Maleceptors, Norn Emissaries, things that have really high toughnesses and or invulnerable saves because they're gonna live. It will benefit things like Carnifexes and Screamer Killers and Harrowfexes and Cyclophages. And although Harrowfex does have a little bit of a higher toughness, the Carnifexes are going to get melted. Cyclophages are going to get melted. I love them, but they're going to get melted. So this really benefits the previous units that I was talking about. It's really good because it basically... I'm not going to say ensures hits, but makes hits more likely, and that's a really good place to be in. So the benefit to hit and the benefit to wound, awesome. This is the new part, which is why it's highlighted. In addition, Tyranid monster unit from your army, excluding battleshock units, is at starting strength. Add 2 to the objective control characteristic of models in that unit. This could be helpful. I mean, your monsters are just going to take wounds, and that's just the way it's going to be. So I don't know if it's ever going to win you a game. Anyways, also on the left-hand side, I included the updated rules for both Shadow in the Warp, giving the -1 on Battleshock tests if you're within 6 inches of a synapse creature, and giving a +1 to strength if you're within 6 inches of a synapse creature. So keep in mind, things that provide their own synapse, Norn Emissaries, Maleceptors, they are going to be giving themselves +1 strength, and that does convert for Norn Emissaries. Keep that in mind. Really important. As far as enhancements goes, I don't have an enhancement that I love or that I think is like the best. Because if you know me well, you'll know that my complete and utter arch nemesis is Knights and Chaos Knights. And my ideal list to fight Knights is not monsters. So here's what's going to happen. Someone's going to bring a Lancer. The Lancer does flat 8 damage, and a Lancer is going to delete a monster every turn, and that's just the way it is. And good luck. And then he's going to charge for free into your next one. It's sick. Lancers are disgusting. The monstrous nemesis I feel is pretty good. Each time the bear makes an attack that targets a monster or a vehicle, add 1 to the wound roll. And maybe the presence, so add 3 to the bear's objective control characteristic. Yeah, maybe. Null nodes, not really useful. Enraged reserves, can be useful. So basically, if the bear gets killed and it hasn't fought yet on a 3+, don't remove it. He gets to fight first. That could be pretty decent. So, and my monster list, my Crusher Stampede list, is probably going to have 2 Tyrannifexes, 2 Norn Emissaries, Swarm Lord, maybe a Tyrant, maybe a Neurotyrant. I might even throw in like 2 Exocrines, 2 Horospexes. I might put might put 2 Psychophages in there. I don't know. Like I said, Psychophages get melted, regular Carnifexes get melted, Screamer Killers get melted. I want to love the Screamer Killer. Don't get me wrong. The 10 attacks, super good. AP, good. Damage, good. They just get melted. If they had some more survivability to them, whether it was a higher toughness, more wounds, crappy invulnerable, something, they just get melted. And we've seen that ever since the box came out 3 years ago, because the Ballistus Dreadnought just kills it in one shooting phase. So, there is a really great list of stratagems here. I highly suggest running a Swarm Lord, just because of the extra CP. Super useful. He's good in close combat. He's really good. And his Mind Vomit Flamethrower is even good against small knights. So was the Neuro Tyrant. I played a game against knights with him and did well. I can beat knights with... it's not a Crusher Stampede list. It's an Invasion Swarm list. But anyways, let's talk about all these great stratagems. So Untrammeled Ferocity is important because it changed. This is really good for you RTT people. I'm an RTT person myself. And each time a model in your unit makes a normal advance or fallback move, it can move through models, excluding Titanic, and sections of terrain feature that are 4 inches or less in height. Now, a lot of times at the RTTs that I play at here in Lansing, Michigan, at AFK Games, go to AFK, they're good people, you can already move through the 4-inch terrain. So that's a thing. It can also move through sections of terrain features that are more than 4 inches in height. But if it does, after it is moved, roll a d6. On a 1, your unit is battle shocked. Yeah, there's basically no disbenefit. Basically, no disbenefit. But that can get you through buildings. In a Norn Emissary that Kool-Aid Man's through a building is awesome. Swarm Guided Salvos is great. Is wonderful. Your shooting phase targets a monster. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have Ignores Cover ability. And until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, you can ignore all modifiers to that model's ballistic skill characteristic and any and all modifiers to hit. Any and all modifiers to hit. So, like, if you've got a Tyrannifex with a Casino Cannon, Rupture Cannon, and you can just barely see a little bit of a model hanging out from across the table, you can hit that guy. You can hit that guy with no cover and no modifiers to hit. It's amazing. It's really good. And 1 CP. Corrosive Viscera is great if you're using a Hierophant, because the Hierophant, which I have one, and the Hierophant's Deadly Demise is 2d6 and can bomb like 3/4 of the table because everything is within 6 inches of a Hierophant. Basically, so it's when your unit gets destroyed, so shooting phase or fight phase, when your monster gets destroyed, instead of rolling to do Deadly Demise, you just automatically do Deadly Demise, which is great if you're holding on to it. And you can hold on to a CP because you're getting an extra one with the Swarm Lord, so surprise. Savage Roar is great. Fight phase, just after an enemy has selected targets, you target a monster. Basically somebody who is targeting your monster that roared. They have to make a battle shock test. And no matter what, they get -1 to hit. If they fail the battle shock test, they get -1 to wound your monster. So it's going to help your monster stay alive longer because they have a hard time hitting. Then they're going to stay alive longer because they have a hard time wounding. Swarm Lord with Tyrant Guard, who's in melee combat, whose Savage Roars every turn, is going to stay alive. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be set. And lastly, Massive Impact is a lot like grenades. Charge phase, you're rolling your d6s, your 6d6, and each 4 is a mortal wound. I really enjoy sharing this content with you guys. Please feel free to use these ideas. Massive Impact is great. It's like grenades. We here at the Dragon's Lair want to say thank you for spending your time here with us at the Dragon's Lair.